Hello, my name's Alex Patel and I've put together this online tutorial to prepare you for a training session on demonstrating in practical classes. So this has been set up specifically for new demonstrators for Svidiots Practical for BS1070. So if you've already attended a training session run by myself in the last year, then you don't need to go through this, but you are welcome to as well. So the structure of this session is that I'm going to talk briefly about working with Unitemps. I'll give an overview of demonstrating. I'll talk about the administration you might be required to do and the top tips for demonstrating that I've put together. And lastly, we have an activity to get you thinking about preparing for the practical. So specifically, this is the locust dissection practical. So Unitemps, if you haven't registered with them already, you need to go to this website. And it's very simple. You click on register with Unitemps and enter your details. Also note here that there's a button for submitting a timesheet, which I'll talk about in a moment. It's important you register with Unitemps before you start work, as the university has legal obligations and the insurance won't be valid unless you do so. So you need to give at least 48 hours, and this is because you need to register online and then go down in person to show them your documents that demonstrate you have a right to work in the UK. So this might be your birth certificate or passport if you're a UK resident, or it might be a student visa. But make sure you do so. Now, once you've completed a practical, you'll need to submit your timesheet as soon as possible. So timesheets are on a weekly basis, and you will submit that online via the link I showed you, and they will then be approved by a authorised person in the department. So I believe in biology that's Manish. Now he'll probably look at these on a set day each week, so perhaps a Monday, so you'd need to get your timesheets in before then, otherwise they'd be delayed to the following week. You also need to claim your holiday pay. So as a casual worker, part of your wage is put aside into a pot for you to claim when you take your holidays. Now if you don't claim it, you don't get it. So make sure you do. The pay is only available once your timesheet has been authorised. So what you can do is either wait till a timesheet's been authorised and then claim your holiday pay, or you can wait till the end of a month or the end of the year and claim all your holiday pay together in one go. And it's quite simple to claim it. You need to look for a button on the website which says claim your holiday pay, and it's as simple as that. So for working in practicals, or in fact any other post, you can be requested to work on a specific job by, for example, the lab convener, but you can also look for your own position via the vacancy search on the website. So you can apply for anything that you think you have the qualifications to work on, so that might even be demonstrating in a different department. Okay, so let's consider what demonstrating might actually involve. So we have training, and you need to do this training in order to work in labs and biological sciences, and also the training from the academic convener. So for you specifically, we've put these two together, so there's going to be one single training session. You will also need to prepare for each individual practical session in your own time. So that might be working through the practical booklets to understand the protocol and the tasks, making sure you understand the theory and understand how the assessment will take place. Because how will you guide students towards the correct answer if you don't know what the correct answer is? You would then demonstrate in the practical session. So typically a lab convener will do an introduction at the beginning, which might be 10-20 minutes long. The group will then break up and you will take responsibility for your group of 10 to 12 students, and you will need to guide them through a sequence of tasks during the practical. And at some point the students then leave due to some working at different speeds. This may not all be together. Ideally, in a learning experience, there would be some form of wrapping up conclusion. So you might want to think about how and if you could put something like that into the practical session. And lastly, you may be involved in marking, which I believe you will be specifically. So demonstrators mark the work. That then is moderated by the lab convener. It's returned to the students. And if you're seeing the same students the following week, there'll be an opportunity for you to give verbal feedback as well to further help them. So let's consider the types of admin that you might be involved in. So usually this involves the register. Now, when I was a demonstrator, I used to complete the register, but I didn't worry too much if a student came in late and I didn't mark them as being late as opposed to absent. But as a lab convener, I've realised that students who are absent need to be reported to the school office, and they'll get a letter sent to them. They'll also not be allowed to submit a report for that practical, so they would lose marks for that. So it's therefore quite important that you take the time and give yourself time to complete the registers accurately. You might also be involved in the collection of work or return of work to students. And because students are now fee paying and they're more likely to raise any issues with the school office, you need to be very aware of the dangers of losing work. And therefore there are often systems put in place where work has to be signed for. Students will sign it in and they will sign when they collect it back out again. So if you are involved in this, it's important that you do get those signatures carefully. And there might be other types of admin which we haven't covered. But basically you'd find this out from the academic or the lab convener. So in this case it would be SVIDI-OT.